following a developing story for you tonight. North of the city, there are reports of a very large grass fire near Cochrane, and there are reports that several structures are right now in danger. We are following this story. We'll bring you more as that becomes available. Also ahead in about 20-25 minutes, we'll tell you more about Lyle and Marie McCann. Finally, some relief for the family's couple tonight, 2 years after the St. Albert couple vanished. First-degree murder charges are now laid in their death. Longtime suspect Travis Vader is now considered the official accused. We'll have more in just a bit. Gordon, Linda?
All right, thanks, Dallas.
We're going to take another look at some of the numbers tonight just to give you a sense of what's been happening across the province. The PCs with 62%, a majority government. Once again, Wildrose 17 seats, 62 seats for the PCs. Wildrose 17, 4 for the Liberal, and NDP 4 as well.
Popular vote across the province looks like this, and what a reversal in the polls. We saw numbers in the 40s for the Wildrose for really most of the election campaign. After all is said and done, it's a switch around. PC 44%, Wildrose 35%, NDP and Libs coming in with 10%. That's province-wide, the popular vote.
Take a look at some ridings. Alison Redford, once again the Premier of Alberta. She has been re-elected in her Conservative stronghold riding of Calgary-Elbow.
The official leader of the Royal Opposition will be Danielle Smith and the Wildrose Party. So you just heard that clip from her, disappointed, but ready to fight. And waiting to see again. This one could go into the wee hours of the morning. Look at that vote, 35% each with 84% of the polls in. Just a handful of votes between Raj Sherman and the PC candidate there.
And the NDP candidate Brian Mason, leader of the NDP, has been re-elected over the PC candidate. And the leader of the Alberta Party, Glenn Taylor, has gone down to defeat. Winning the riding of West Yellowhead is Robin Campbell for the Tories.
One of the big losses for the PCs to Bruce McAllister was Ted Morton, and I know you were jotting notes when the latest numbers came up there. Electricity and the land rights, you believe, really sunk Ted Morton?
Well, Ted Morton, I think, is certainly one of the most intelligent people that you're going to find in politics. I think he was a hard-working, very ambitious, and I think he did make some bad choices. But when your portfolios take you into land use legislation and electricity, those are kryptonite. And ultimately, he touched the kryptonite tonight and got demolished by Bruce McAllister.
Right.
And in the acceptance speeches tonight, there was a lot of talk about change. Both the Wildrose and the Conservatives talked about change going in. Clearly, the Tories were successful this time around.
Well, I think, you know, people do want change. Change was in the air. The province is changing unbelievably. I mean, the demographics are changing. The economy is changing. People expect political reforms now. I mean, the old boys, the old ways, the committees that never met. I mean, that was incendiary. People were outraged. But I think people wanted also a sense that there would be safe change. And the mistake that the Wildrose made was insisting on change, but to a point where people saw it as, you know, overturning some of the institutions that they really cared about, like healthcare or the pension plan or the RCMP or all of that. And so I think ultimately, again, it wasn't for love of the Tories, but I think the vote was a vote of fear.
It's interesting. A lot of Tory supporters I talked to leading up wanted to spank the Tories, wanted to send a message. Yes. We're mad, we're upset, we don't feel we're connecting anymore. And then again, as you say, when it came time to choosing an alternative, not quite ready for what they saw.
Yeah, I think the first 3 weeks, Danielle Smith was riding the rage. And it was again, an excellent campaign, really well organized, a good news message every day. But then the last week, the ballot question changed to, can you trust the Wildrose? And under the searing light of investigation, people got nervous. And I think one of the things that the Wildrose speaks so much about representing Alberta, but the question is, do they really understand Alberta? And that's the question that the party's going to have to wrestle with.
Now we're seeing a live shot of the Liberal headquarters for the Liberal incumbent, Darshan Kang, who has been elected. The numbers don't show it, but the party is going on there tonight. It's been a close race throughout the night. The numbers don't show it at the moment, but they're celebrating there. So what can we take from that, David?
Well, it looks like James Maxim there, a longtime Liberal supporter, he's got some secret numbers here. And James probably has the connection to have them. All right, too close for us to call on that one. We'll continue to watch, though. Darshan Kang hoping to hang on. Gary Bobrovitz is at PC headquarters at the Bet Centre. Gary?
Well, one thing Alison Redford's going to have to start doing tomorrow is draw up exactly who will be in her cabinet. Currently, the Solicitor General of the province of Alberta and also the successful candidate from Calgary-Acadia, Jonathan Dennis. Are you going to be in cabinet again?
Well, that's up to the Premier to decide. I'm going to take a day off tomorrow, and then we'll worry about these things on Wednesday.
This must have been such an emotional catharsis for you guys.
Well, I got to say, I knocked my first door for this campaign almost a year ago today. And it's been a long campaign. This campaign, I can say, Gary, I've lost 11 pounds. We've knocked 13,000 doors. We put our agenda forward in the constituency, and I'm humbled by the result. I'm very pleased, and I'll continue to serve as the MLA.
Now, truthfully, did you think you were going to win 60 seats?
60 seats was on my high end of reasonable. I wasn't expecting that. We knew we were competitive in our riding, and I can tell you that it's anybody who goes through a fight, I think, becomes a better MLA as a result.
What sort of government are we going to get? Were you guys sufficiently spanked by voters that you're going to be more responsible, listen to voters, the culture of confusion and of corruption that they're talking about? Are we going to see a repeat of that?
Well, first off, before any of this came to light, the Premier, as one of her promises, started an independent commission into all of our pay and benefits. She said that she will accept the recommendations. I think that shows some real leadership. But at the end of the day, no party has a God-given right to govern in this province or any other. We have to earn it every 4 years. And I am really humbled that we've earned it again for another 4 years here. But we also have to listen to the message that we heard in this campaign. People want more accountability, but they also want more honesty and focus. And I think that the negative attack ads that we saw from some other parties really backfired on those parties, and we have to stay away from that as a party.
All right, well, the Premier said in her speech a few minutes ago that she was promising a new government, a more responsible government, one that would listen to all Albertans. Let's see if she and Jonathan Dennis will deliver on that. Go ahead, Linda.
All right, thank you, Gary. Quick to Scott Fee now, who has been patient in High River with our panel there, Dwayne Bratt and Janet Brown. Scott?
Thanks, Gordon. You guys are munching on pretzels. Some of us have moved on to coffee now as we weigh through the evening's results. Let's talk a little bit about the battle ridings, is it fair to call them bellwether ridings that we talked about earlier on in the day, things that you're going to watch for. Let's talk a little bit about some of the results that happened there for you guys.
Okay, well, I guess about 3 or 4 days ago, we listed what we thought were the 5 ridings in southern Alberta to watch, the ridings that we thought would tell the tale of how things went. So my 5 ridings were Calgary Elbow, the Premier's riding, Highwood, this riding, Danielle Smith's riding, Lethbridge East, Calgary Currie, and Calgary Mountain View. Now in Elbow, the Premier has won handily, and the PCs have won handily overall, so that was a good bellwether riding. In Highwood, Danielle Smith won the riding, but she didn't win it as handily as people had thought, so I think that also sort of tells the tale. Lethbridge East, that's Bridget Pasteur. She was a Liberal. She crossed the floor. You know, this is a riding that people thought could go anywhere way, but, you know, she as a PC candidate held on to it, so a big victory for her. Calgary Currie was another one we all thought would be sort of a competitive 3- or 4-way race, but it looked like the candidate there, Christine Cusinelli, won it quite handily. And then finally, Calgary Mountain View. I named that one because that was a riding that David Swan had won by a margin of 20 percentage points last time. It seemed like the best bet for the Liberals to hang on to it, but that was a riding that was going to disappear if strategic voting became a big concern. And Swan held on to it, so he held off the strategic voters.
And interesting, you guys were both looking at pretty well different ridings. I mean, some overlapping, but you had different picks.
You know, Lethbridge East, Bridget Pasteur won that as a Liberal. It was a traditional Liberal seat. Ken Nickel had won that earlier. Could she carry it as a PC? She did. I also looked at Calgary-Buffalo for the same reason that Janet looked at Mountain View. Could Kent Hare hold on to a Liberal seat that he only won by 4 or 5 points in 2008 if there was a strategic vote shift to the PCs? Kent Hare also won that riding. Then I looked at Calgary-Greenway, you know, the Ron Leach versus Mehmet Buehler race. You know, Buehler's an up-and-comer in the PC party. He's already an associate minister. Could he go into full cabinet? He beats Leach handily. And finally, Calgary-Hawkwood, where the Wild Rose had a strong candidate in Dave Yeager. If they won, he was going into cabinet. Yeager's defeated. So, you know, in each of those bellwether ridings that we identified, the tale is told.
And again, obviously, we're going to be dissecting this for a couple of days, I'm sure. But just in a nutshell, what do you take away from what happened here tonight?
What I take away from it is that Albertans have decided to go with the status quo. That at the end of the day, the idea of change was not palatable to Albertans, and so they're going to stay the course. I do believe they wanted to send a message to Alison Redford. I mean, this election has continually reminded me of the 1990 Ontario election, where the Peterson Liberals lost and the Bob Rae NDP won a majority, and everybody in Ontario woke up shocked the next morning. They couldn't believe they had elected an NDP majority. I think Albertans decided they didn't want to shock themselves into a Wild Rose majority.
My view is Wild Rose was strongest at the beginning of the campaign when they provided a very strong critique of the PC government on MLA committee, on intimidation of doctors, when they offered an alternative fiscal policy. But as soon as they got dragged into social policy on gay marriage, on climate change, on conscious rights, that's when things shifted away. And what it shows is that Albertans may be small C conservative when it comes to money. They're not small C conservative when it comes to social issues.
And now that they're sitting in opposition, does this give the Wild Rose the opportunity to maybe streamline their party and take a look at some of these issues and go, okay, what do I got to do next time?
They're going to have to think about that. Are they going to focus on their base, which is in rural Alberta, that believes that these issues are really important, or do they look at where they didn't win that says, we don't want to talk about these things? That's the call that they've got to make.
All right, we're going to toss things back to the studio. Gord, Linda.
They are packing up the chairs there at Wild Rose. The party is over for the evening.
You guys done? You guys shuffling along there.
We want to give you a sense of the overall Calgary picture one more time and take a look at how things are developing. Some of the ridings still not decided, but let's start with Calgary-Acadia, and this goes to the Solicitor General, PC's Jonathan Dennis, over the Wild Rose, Richard Jones.
All he wants is a day off, he was saying. Alana DeLong is back, and again, is that 4 or 5 terms for Alana, but she will be representing Calgary-Bow again for the PCs.
Calgary-Buffalo tonight has gone to the Liberal incumbent, Kent Hare, who is a lawyer and been very active in community politics and events for a long time. And in Calgary-Cross, longtime MLA Yvonne Fritz has been re-elected over Happy Man for the Wild Rose.
To Calgary-Currie we go, one where we were interested to see what would happen here. And Christine Cusinelli, the principal, winning for the PC party over Realtor Corey Adolph.
Calgary East, still not a call. That's one of the ones we're watching tonight. It's pretty close. Mo Amory is the longtime MLA there. He's holding on to the lead, but we'll see how that one wraps up. And in Calgary-Albo, Premier Alison Redford has been re-elected by a large margin over the Wild Rose candidates, James Cole.
Calgary-Fish Creek, here's another one going right down to the wire. What's that, 26? Yeah, about not very many votes apart, folks. 44% vote, they're 43%. Heather Forsyth has been in that riding since 1993 in a big fight for her life tonight. Calgary Foothills, sorry, Len Weber there with the check mark. Len getting that check mark good and early tonight, so he's been able to relax and marvel in another big majority for the PCs.
Calgary Fort, this is another one that we're still watching tonight. Wayne Cow has been there since, for a long time now. I think since 1993 he's been the MLA in that area, and he's holding on to the lead, but just by a bit.
Wayne is at every event ever organized by anything in Calgary. He is busy. Paul Hinman going down to defeat the PC candidate, though, in Calgary-Glenmore.
Calgary-Greenway, Manmeet Bhullar is a young cabinet minister. He's the Service Alberta minister, and he has been re-elected.
Calgary-Hawkwood, the new riding, and it was a good battle between the PCs and Wild Rose, but Jason Luan getting the win for the Blue.
Calgary Hayes goes to Rick McIver, a familiar face to a lot of Calgarians, ran for mayor, also a longtime alderman. He wins out by 55% of the vote over Wayne Anderson of the Wild Rose.
Kyle Fawcett, also a win here, the incumbent for Calgary Klein, knocking off Jeremy Nixon. Jeremy, 36%, put up a good fight. Kyle, though, continues as MLA for Calgary Klein.
So a couple of ridings that we're still watching to see what's happening tonight, David.
Well, one of the things that struck me is just, you know, we're talking about how the Wild Rose has to change and how what it will take to break through in the cities. They only had 2 women candidates in all of Calgary. And they only had 4 people who were visible minorities. I mean, you know, just walk on the streets of Calgary and you know, you see the texture of the city and how it's changing. This is a party that not only has to change, I think, or understand urban Alberta, it has to become urban Alberta. And that will take some doing.
Quick look again, 62-17 for Wild Rose, Liberal 4, NDP 4. Folks, we are going to take our first commercial break in about 3 hours and 16 minutes. It's been exciting tonight, though, sticking through with the coverage, but we will be back shortly. Stay with us.
At Eastside Mario's, families love us for our all-you-can-eat soup or salad and garlic home loan. And now, kids eat free. That's right, free. 5 days a week. La, 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 la. Kids eat free. It's a wonderful thing. La, 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 la. Eastside Mario's, hey, bada boom, bada bing.
Every 3 minutes, cancer picks a fight with another Canadian.
In April, the Canadian Cancer Society is asking you to join others across the country in their fight. By wearing this pin, you'll let people fighting the disease know they're not alone. Every donation will allow the Society to provide services, information, and much-needed support. Join the fight and show how much you care.
April 27th is Daffodil Day. Visit fightback.ca for more information.
They said a seedless watermelon couldn't be done. Did it? They said you couldn't put piggies in a blanket. They're in there! When Boston Pizza asked Terry Peters to reinvent the chicken wing, Terry Peters gave them all-meat wings!
The world's first all-meat wings, made with seasoned chicken breast, now at Boston Pizza.
Well, you have been watching Decision Alberta here on Global Television. Thank you for joining us again, wrapping things up tonight in what has been a surprising night here in Alberta.
Now, we're going to start with the student vote. We told you about this a little bit earlier. It was an effort to engage young people. So even though they don't actually have a say, they had their say. And that was the prediction earlier tonight. They had a PC majority. That was their call. They've been quite successful. They have called 15 of the last 18 elections that they've been part of.
Final word to our panel now. Jamie Dahl with Dave Taylor and Lindsay. Great chats from you guys today. Sum it up tonight for us.
We were talking just earlier now, if Danielle Smith had made some big moves, maybe fired a couple people, do you think she'd be where she was tonight?
No, I don't think she would have been. I think that when Alan Huntsberger in Edmonton Southwest, when it came out that he had said that gays will burn in an internal lake of fire, or whatever the exact wording was, I think she should have moved then and said, that's not on, he's off our ballot. She didn't do that. In fact, she stood by him. In fact, tonight she said in a scrum after her concession speech that she wouldn't do anything differently if she had it to do all over again. I think not getting rid of Huntsberger was a problem. I think that that allowed people to go looking for what it was that Ron Leach had said. I think that became more of a problem. And I think what happened here is that Albertans proved that they may be fiscal conservatives, as was said here earlier, but they are socially progressive, and they're not going to put up with that. If she had made a decision, and I grant you it's a hard decision to make when you're that young a party and you're building from the ground up and you're trying to do it as a bottom-up grassroots party. It's hard to get rid of people. But had she made that decision, I think the people of Alberta would have treated her a lot more kindly tonight.
We have to leave it at that. We'll send it back to the desk. Gordlinda.
Thanks, Jamie. We're going to go back to Reid Feist, who is at Wild Rose headquarters down in High River, and I believe you have a guest with you, Reed.
That's right, Linda. We're joined live by Danielle Smith. And first of all, congratulations on your win here in High River. You'll now be able to go into the legislature.
Thank you. Yeah, I've called this the longest job interview of my life. So I'm happy after 3 years of campaigning that the residents of Highwood have given me the honor of representing them in the legislature. I'm looking forward to that role.
You said you were disappointed in your speech to your supporters here tonight. Were you hoping for a lot more? Were you, like many of the polls, thinking that you would win tonight?
Yeah, I kind of feel like the Saskatchewan Roughriders in that game where they were ahead all the way right until the final bell, and then because they had a penalty, they ended up losing on a kickoff. Well, look, this happens from time to time. You do end up going through thinking that you're going to end up with more seats, and obviously Albertans wanted to give us a little bit more opportunity to seize. And I guess I look at the popular vote. We weren't that far apart on the popular vote, which means our ideas have resonance, that people want to see balanced budgets. They want to see a better plan for managing our surpluses. They want to see an end to wait times for health care. They want to see more accountability, and they want more dollars back in the pockets of families. Those are the things we're going to continue to press forward as official opposition, and it is an important role. I take the role of official opposition very seriously, and I'm delighted that Albertans have granted us the ability to be able to hold this government to account.
If you could have a do-over for this last week, would you have done anything differently with Ron Leach? Do you think that affected you? You still wouldn't change?
Not one thing. I wanted to wake up tomorrow thinking there was not one more thing I could have done to win one more vote, and I feel exactly that way. That's how I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning.
Would you say that strategic voting played into this, do you think, then?
Oh, clearly. I mean, I think Ms. Redford won her leadership on the basis of getting Liberal and NDP supporters to vote for her in the leadership, and clearly she did the same thing tonight. You just have to look at the percentage of the vote for the Liberals and the NDs to see that it was a successful strategy. That being said, I think people have granted us the official opposition role for a reason. They have seen in the past, especially in this province, the role that a Conservative opposition can play in pushing the government in the right direction. We are going to push. We are going to push for balanced budgets. We're going to push for protection for landowner rights. We're going to push to make sure that we can eliminate healthcare waiting lists, and we're going to push to get better accountability in the legislature. Those are the things that I feel we have the mandate to do.
Danielle Smith, thank you very much. Congratulations on your win here in Highwood tonight. Appreciate it. Danielle Smith joining us live here from the Highwood Golf and Country Club. Of course, she said disappointed, but not discouraged. She feels that now they have more power in the legislature. Now Danielle Smith can go in the legislature and be part of question period, and she says she will hold the Redford PCs to account. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Reed. We're going to check some more ridings for you, the ones that are decided and then some that still aren't decided at this late hour. And we're going to start with Calgary Glenmore. The incumbent, Wild Rose, Paul Hinman, going down to defeat to the PC's Linda Johnson.
From Calgary Glenmore, we go to Calgary Greenway. Manmeet Bhullar with the win here, 3,225 votes with 72% of the polls reporting. Enough, though, to get the check mark over Ron Leach of Wild Rose.
And to Calgary Hawkwood, David Yeager of the Wild Rose losing out to the PC's Jason Luan.
Calgary Hayes, Rick McIver back in politics, and he does it very good, 55% of the vote there. He won the nomination over Art Johnson and will represent the PCs in that riding now.
Calgary Klein has been won by the incumbent PC, Kyle Fawcett, over Jeremy Nixon, who also ran in the last civic election as an alderman.
Calgary Lochie, Dave Rodney is back. John Carpe giving him a decent fight, 37% of the popular vote. But Dave Rodney's back again.
Calgary McKay, Nose Hill. This is a riding that was held by Neil Brown. He is back in again with 46% over Roy Alexander.
Calgary McCall, one we're really going to watch here. It looks at this point that it's Grant Galpin with a pretty good lead with Wild Rose. But as we saw the celebration there with Darshan Kang earlier, that one's probably going to be counted for a long time.
Dr. David Swan, Liberal, is re-elected in Calgary Mountain View. And as David had mentioned, this may be one of those that went with personality over the party necessarily in that riding.
And Calgary Northwest, congratulations to Sandra Jansen. We heard from her. She knocked on a lot of doors, so excited to win, so excited to be able to bring about some of the change she believes the PC party needs to do. Sandra Jansen, representing Calgary Northwest, where she grew up.
Wow.
Raj Sherman has been elected. We see coming in on our screen there, even though it was still showing 35%. But Liberal leader Raj Sherman has won Edmonton Meadowlark. We've been watching this throughout the evening. It has been a close one, David.
You know, you're happy to see him back. You said earlier too, didn't you?
Well, I know Dave Taylor has a different view, the Raj and the Liberals tank, but you know, there's a little bit of a soft spot for him, so I'm glad he won.
Thanks, David. We're going to go back down to Lethbridge, our sister station at Global down there, and Tom Ralston is going to bring us up to date with the ridings down south. Tom?
Linda, PC's finishing strong in the urban ridings down, at least in the Lethbridge area. Beginning in Lethbridge East, it was PC candidate Bridget Pasteur who managed to hold off any upset Liberal voters. Actually, the Liberals not even factoring into this race. She finishes ahead of the Wild Rose, the once Liberal MLA, now PC MLA, cruising to victory there. In Lethbridge West, Advanced Education Minister Greg Weddick seeking re-election, and he was successful, beating out Shannon Phillips of the NDP, who came in second. And checking Medicine Hat, it was the Wild Rose Party with Blake Peterson coming out on top ahead of the PCs. That's a look at some of the ridings down south. We're going to throw things back to you guys in Calgary. Gord, Linda.
All right, great work. Thank you, Tom. Down at our sister station in Lethbridge.
And David, we're starting to slowly wrap things up here. We're going to have some more news coming up in just a moment. Dallas will have more news coming up. There's reports of a grass fire in a section of the city, so we'll update you on that. We're going to check in with David in a moment, but first we'll take a quick break and be back after this.
It opens up more possibilities. It makes you feel like a kid with the newest toys. And with Honda's legendary fuel economy, it can take you more places. It's Honda innovation in the all-new CR-V. Yeah, it does that.
At Eastside Mario's, families love us for our all-you-can-eat soup or salad and garlic home loaf. And now, kids eat free. That's right, free. 5 days a week. La, 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 la. Kids eat free. It's a wonderful thing. La, 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 la. Eastside Mario's, ain't wonderful loving.
Fine, flat hair with no shape or hold? That's history. I plumb my hair with the new Volume Collagen line from L'Oreal. The first hair care routine with collagen, including its first ever root lifting spray. Its sumptuous formula weightlessly lifts from the roots to provide hair with density and thickness like never before. I love it. It gives me a full 24 hours of volume. Incredible. New Hair Expertise Volume Collagen. Part of the #1 Canadian hair care launch from L'Oreal. We're worth it.
This program is brought to you in part by RE/MAX. Now search properties on your mobile device. Outstanding agents, outstanding results.
You're watching NewsHour Final on Global Calgary.
Turning to some other headlines making news tonight. A big wildfire burning north of Calgary right now. It is near Cochrane. Sustainable Resources confirms there is a wildfire near Bar C Ranch on Highway 40, north of Highway 1A. The fire reaching 80 hectares in size with over 20 firefighters on scene right now. Crews have just been able to fight off the front of the blaze where structures were threatened just minutes ago. Firefighters from Calgary, Cochrane, Rocky View, and Sustainable Resources have all been called out. We do have a crew on the scene. We'll bring you more information as it does become available to us. Murder charges have been laid in connection with the disappearance of St. Albert couple Lyle and Marie McCann. It's been nearly 2 years since the seniors disappeared. Today, longtime suspect Travis Vader is officially the accused, being charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. Here's Fletcher Kent with the developments.
For nearly 2 years, the McCann family has anxiously awaited this news. Then,
5 people from the RCMP met with our family on Friday morning and said that they were going to charge Travis Vader.
And they did, with first-degree murder. Police allege Travis Vader killed Lyle and Marie McCann. They are the elderly St. Albert couple who disappeared in July of 2010. Searchers have turned up their burnt-out motorhome and SUV. The 40-year-old Vader has long been a person of interest in the case, so while this day does not come as a surprise, the McCanns still welcome it.
For several years now, we've been we've known that Travis Vader was a suspect, and it was getting to be quite an ordeal, and it's more of a relief to finally have these charges out there.
But police won't say much about why the charges are coming now.
There is information that has surfaced through the course of the investigation that has brought us to a position where we could both arrest and charge Mr. Vader in connection to these deaths.
The McCanns are quick to point out their biggest concerns lie elsewhere.
This is one side of it. This is the perpetrator side of it, but we still don't know where our parents are.
Although declared dead, the McCanns' bodies have never been found. Their family hopes this arrest can help on that front.
I'm sure that somebody out there can help us find my parents. And we're actually hopeful now that this has happened, that Mr. Vader can help us find our parents.
Until then, the anxiety plaguing the McCanns will remain.
It's always there. It's a constant gnawing at our insides.
At least now, someone stands accused of causing that pain. Fletcher Kent, Global News.
The McCann family has offered a $60,000 reward for information that might help find Lyle and Marie's remains. Brett McCann says that offer still stands and hopes it may still generate new tips. City Hall is leaking and repairing it will cost millions. Details on that right after this break.
Vichy creates its first BB cream for mature skin, Neovadiol Lumiere. 6 actions in 1. It densifies, sculpts, smooths, nourishes, evens, and illuminates the look of mature skin. The dream of ideal skin comes true. New Neovadiol Lumiere BB cream from Vichy.
My husband here is a bit of a handyman, likes to tackle everything. Today is an oil change. Are you sure you know what you're doing?
Oh yeah, I got this. Whoa!
I still need an oil change.
Well, Aaron, bring your car to Cal-Tire. We'll change your oil, even do a free mechanical inspection. Plus, we have hoists, so no, you know.
Talk to Cal during our spring savings event featuring the Nitto Neogen. Event ends May 5th.
Cowhide dries out. So does your man hide. Regular men's body wash can dry out your skin. Dove Men Plus Care has micro moisture to fight skin dryness. So that man hide of yours stays clean and moisturized. Skincare built in.
I've been around Buitoni all my life. It was always in my mother's kitchen back home in Italy. We used it in the first restaurant I worked at in Tuscany. It stood for quality ingredients. Like Buitoni, I pride myself in the quality of the ingredients in my dishes. Now Buitoni carries on their tradition with a new stone-baked thin crust pizza. My mother says that Buitoni is the same quality as hers. For an Italian mother to say that, that's a big deal. New Buitoni thin crust pizza, now finally available in Canada.
You don't always know where life will take you. But when you're driving the new 2012 Jeep Compass, it gives you legendary 4x4 Jeep capability. And it gives you up to 42 miles per gallon. So you'll get all the time you need to figure it out. The 2012 Jeep Compass.
How did we become Canada's best-selling car 14 years in a row? By focusing on things that matter, like technology, quality, safety, and reliability. That's a lot of words that end in Y, but there's one more: affordability. With the lowest starting price in 15 years. Now own a 2012 Civic at 1.99% with a biweekly payment from $97. Why buy just another car when you can buy a Honda?
For thicker, healthier, greener lawns, use CIL Golf Green Lawn Fertilizer in an exclusive formula available only at Home Hardware. With an advanced formula for thicker, greener grass and long-lasting results, it's all I use on my lawn. And for overseeding, use weed-free CIL Golf Green All-Purpose Grass Seed. Get golf course quality lawns with CIL Golf Green. Only at Home Hardware and Home Hardware Building Center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Okay, this color is crazy gorgeous.
Tina's just tried Garnier Nutrice.
Richer, more radiant, yes.
With 3 fruit oils for nourished hair, better color.
And grays, 100% out of here. Garnier Nutrice, made in Canada.
Roxy and I, we do everything together. We're kind of inseparable.
We get it. You love your vehicle. We do too. Integra Tires tire and automotive service experts care about the safety and reliability of your ride. It all starts with choosing the right tires. For a limited time, save up to $70 on the purchase of 4 select Yokohama tires or earn 1,000 bonus Aeroplan miles with our Yokohama Season Signature offer. Visit IntegraTire.com to feel the car love today.
When we built the 2012 Chrysler 200, we had a lot to prove. We started with an uncompromising standard of luxury. Then we added available hands-free Uconnect technology like Bluetooth phone, navigation, Sirius XM satellite radio, and a Pentastar V6 engine that gets 42 miles per gallon. And to prove affordable luxury is not an oxymoron, we made the Chrysler 200 LX Canada's most affordable mid-size sedan.
Stampede Lotteries are back with 2 early bird prizes, Turkey or Africa. Or enter to win the Rotary Dream Home. Or the incredible Kinsman Wheels. Or $100,000 in cash. Join the winner's circle. Buy your tickets now.
A man is dead after being hit by several vehicles on Highway 1 near Strathmore. It happened between Highway 797 and Highway 24. Police say the man was walking just after 2 a.m. when he was struck by an eastbound semi. That driver called 911 and stayed on the scene. During that time, the victim was hit by 2 other vehicles. One stayed, the other left. An empty vehicle was found nearby, but it's not known if it belonged to the deceased. Anyone with information is asked to call police. And the arson unit is now investigating 2 suspicious fires in the Northeast. The latest one broke out early this morning in a building on 50th Avenue and Falconridge Boulevard. No one was injured, but several businesses were destroyed. The strip mall is very close to another commercial building that went up in flames last week. Right now, officials say there's nothing to indicate the 2 are connected, but they are looking into it. The Pound Rescue in Okotoks is calling it the worst case it's seen. The group getting a request to pick up a dog from a First Nation north of Calgary. Noah was suffering from large open wounds and malnutrition. It can't say whether the infected sores were from abuse or fight with another animal. Noah is currently being treated at the McKnight 24-hour pet hospital. The Pound Rescue hopes to adopt him out eventually, but not before a lengthy recovery. Emergency crews called to a minor mishap on Prince's Island this afternoon. An excavator had been working on top of some large rocks on the north end of the island. It rolled over, tumbling down the rocks and partially crushing the cab. Paramedics treating the driver on scene and releasing him. Some diesel leaked, but we're told there was no damage to the river. It was a record-breaking day out there. Summer-like temperatures bringing many outside to patios and parks today. Paul Dunphy in with your weather forecast.
It was a beautiful day in Western Canada, in particular southern Alberta. Many records set today, including the city of Calgary. Got to 26 degrees, and the previous record was 24 degrees. That was set back in 1910. Different story down east. It started with snow in northern Ontario, even saw some snow south of the border in the USA, through Pennsylvania, through New York. And as you can see tonight, there's still a rain-snow mix there. And through the maritime provinces, lots of watches and warnings in effect for heavy rainfall through Nova Scotia, through New Brunswick as well. North of there through portions of Quebec, we even have some snowfall warnings and freezing rain warnings in effect. We've got a small low pressure center located right here, just north of the elbow, and there's a large low off the west coast continuing to generate a series of lows which will track to the north of us. This low, when it comes through in the morning hours, is going to shift our winds around, first of all to the northwest, then the north, and then the northeast as the day goes on. And we could see some showers on the front, and then again in the instability that develops behind this system in the afternoon hours. The low continues to track off to the east. High pressure builds down from the north. We get into a northeast flow. We stay there. The jet stream will be south of us. So the next several days are going to be below seasonal. High temperature tomorrow, still above normal. We're usually about 13 at this time of year. We'll do 20 tomorrow. So that's pretty respectable. And we do need the rain. We'll get some rain again, we think, on Wednesday. Also some sunny breaks on Wednesday. High temperature of 19. rain. Then that cooler air from the north starts to really settle in come Thursday. Sun cloud mix, it should be dry on Thursday, though a high temperature of 12, which is pretty much where we should be at this time of year, but we slip below normal on Friday with periods of rain. 7 degrees are forecast high, and with an early morning low of 2 degrees, we could even see some snowflakes mixed in. Saturday looks not bad, mostly sunny, 12 degrees. Sunday will bring a sun cloud mix with a seasonal high of 13 degrees. And next Monday, there will be perhaps a sunny break or two, but we expect it will be mostly cloudy. Showers a distinct possibility at a high temperature of 12.
So again, we basked in the warmth today, hitting 26 degrees, breaking a 1910 record, but it was a very different story out east. Parts of Ontario and Quebec got a late blast of snow today, and heavy rainfall warnings were issued for Atlantic Canada. Here's Christina Stevens and Robin Gill.
Old Man Winter has managed to sneak into spring and have his way with eastern Canada. From powerful winds downing trees and toppling furniture in Quebec City to snow in Ottawa, conditions have been anything but pleasant.
I was in shock. I didn't expect to see snow, so I just feel like we're all back to November again.
100 millimeters of rain, at times freezing rain, is on tap for New Brunswick. It all may come as a shock following record-shattering temperatures last month, but David Phillips says such winter conditions are not entirely unheard of in April.
We're seeing the leftovers of a pretty powerful storm that roared up from the United States, picked up lots of moisture from the Gulf of Mexico, and bumped into that cold Canadian air.
Northeastern U.S. bore the brunt of the storm, which has dropped more than 30 centimeters of snow in higher elevations, bringing snow shovels and poor driving conditions back with a vengeance. In Pennsylvania, a springtime winter-like wonderland.
I love it on the trees, but it's breaking the trees and it's ruining, you know, the pretty flowers.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy. All the schools have canceled.
The wild weather all seems just a little unfair to many.
It's not nice. It's really cold. It's not spring.
Easterners are hopeful with a milder than usual May predicted. This proves to be a final farewell to winter. Christina Stevens, Global News, Toronto.
That is a look at your news headlines at this hour. Stay with us. We'll have another look at the election wrap right after this.
This global program is brought to you by Thomas Jeffrey Menswear. Come see the new spring fashions arriving daily. Kickstart your morning right with news, weather, and traffic from the Morning News on Global Calgary. Global proudly presents Theatre Calgary's all-new original production of Cats. A stunning set and costumes, together with Andrew Lloyd Webber's unforgettable music, guarantee an amazing experience. See the Tony Award-winning Cats, now held over till May 19th. Visit theatrecalgary.com for tickets and watch weekday mornings with Scott and Amber for your chance to win tickets. The Morning News on Global Calgary, the perfect way to start your day. Every 3 minutes, cancer picks a fight with another Canadian.
In April, the Canadian Cancer Society is asking you to join others across the country in their fight. By wearing this pin, you'll let people fighting the disease know they're not alone. Every donation will allow the Society to provide services, information, and much-needed support. Join the fight and show how much you care.
April 27th is Daffodil Day. Visit fightback.ca for more information.
Settling down would be great, except for one small detail. Families don't settle. Families are about getting up and getting out. It's making up time and taking some time in directions that change by the minute. So if you're thinking about it, rest up. You're about to settle into the ride of your life. Dodge Grand Caravan. For 28 years, it's taken everything a family could throw at it or in it.
Calgary Health Trust presents Foothills Hospital Home Lottery. Just 10 days remain until the early bird deadline. Drive away the Audi R8 Spyder convertible or take $200,000 in cash. If all tickets are sold by Thursday, May 3rd, all prizes will be awarded early, including both grand prize show homes. Don't miss the early bird deadline. Just 10 days remain. Call now or order online at foothillshospitalhomelottery.org.
Closed captioning of this program brought to you in part by Lotto 649. The next jackpot is an estimated $16 million. Imagine the freedom.
With a new $100,000 per year for life instant scratch ticket, you can win $100 grand every year just like that. Think of what you could do with all that money year after year. You could spend a month in a private beachside bungalow or play more of the world's best courses. Or take your friends to a chalet in the mountains. You could also win one of 80 GMC terrain vehicles. There's over $58 million in prizes available to be won. Play now for your chance to win.
One can have a dream, baby. Two can make that dream so real.
Excuse me.
One can talk about being in love. Two can say how it really feels. It takes two, baby. It takes two, baby.
They taste even better sitting down.
Double your burger bliss with the mini sirloin twins.
They said a seedless watermelon couldn't be done. Did it? They said you couldn't put piggies in a blanket. They're in there! When Boston Pizza asked Terry Peters to reinvent the chicken wing, Terry Peters gave them all-meat wings!
The world's first all-meat wings, made with seasoned chicken breast, now at Boston Pizza.
Settling down would be great, except for one small detail. Families don't settle. It's pickups, and drop-offs, and on the way to somewhere else. So, if you're thinking about it, rest up. You're about to settle into the ride of your life. Dodge Grand Caravan. For 28 years, it's taken everything a family could throw at it or in it.
Get a new 2012 Canada Value Package for $20,898 at the Canada's fastest growing automaker event.
Victims of crime can find themselves trapped in a very painful situation. Sometimes it's extremely difficult to move on. And that is where the Victim Assistance Support Team comes in. As Nancy Hixt reports, it's a group of 98 volunteers standing by to help.
9 years, 5 months, 17 days. A decision was made by another young man that changed my life.
November 4th, 2002, 18-year-old Devin Venables was at Dixon's Pub. A single sucker punch from Devin Heil killed him.
Victim Services was on our door within hours of Devin's death and remained at our side for many years.
Karen Venables still lives with the pain of losing her son, but it was the Victim Assistance Support Team that helped her through.
This team was with our family through the darkest days of our lives. I can tell you as a mother, I don't think I would have survived without our Calgary Victims Assistance Unit.
Marianne was the one who helped Karen, guiding her through the painful court process as her son's killer was brought to justice. She was able to provide compassion to Karen because she's been through it. Her daughter was a victim of sexual assault.
Every day that I come to work, I strive to be to victims what that volunteer was for me.
Calgary Police Service Victim Assistance Unit.
Every day, 24 hours a day, a volunteer is ready, waiting to help victims.
Sometimes you get those calls where you know you helped the person and they're very thankful, and they know now that they're not alone in going through these hard times, and it really makes it worthwhile. And afterwards, you're done those phone calls, you just have that positive energy that just lasts with you for a while.
Karen Venables still refers to the volunteers that helped her as guardian angels, there to help when other people couldn't understand what she was going through.
They amaze me every day, the compassion and the sympathy that they have for people.
Nancy Hixt, Global News.
This week is Canada's 7th annual National Victims of Crime Awareness Week. This year's theme is Moving Forward, which focuses on victims, government, and victim services. There is trouble tonight for one of the world's largest business empires. Walmart is accused of using bribery to help expand its business in Mexico and then covering it up. The retail giant is being investigated by the U.S. Justice Department, and the implications could be enormous. John Yang has the story.
Mexico is a prime example of Walmart's aggressive international expansion. 2,100 stores, 1/5 of all outlets worldwide, and more than 200,000 workers, more than any other private employer in Mexico. A decade ago, that country had only 500 stores. How did Walmart grow so much so fast? According to the New York Times, the company paid big bribes, a violation of U.S. law. CNBC's Michelle Caruso Cabrera is in Mexico City covering the story.
The newspaper's investigation suggests that Walmart executives here in Mexico spent millions of dollars on bribes in the early 2000s to give out money to local government officials so they would speed up the permitting process so that way they could build their stores more quickly.
In a statement, Walmart said, "We are deeply concerned by these allegations and are working aggressively to determine what happened." The Times reported that Walmart executives at their Arkansas headquarters had evidence of the bribes in 2005, but allegedly tried to cover it up despite the company's public commitment to high ethical standards.
I'm very surprised that they would have allowed anything like this to have occurred in Mexico, and even more so, tried to bury it as opposed to exposing it once they learned there may have been irregularities.
Walmart and its executives could be prosecuted for violating the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act. That could mean fines for the company and prison for the executives. The allegations are a big blow to a company whose name means shopping to many Americans and that works to project an image of hometown values created by legendary founder Sam Walton.
They need to worry about their reputation with those who are buying their ultimate products.
As a scandal in Mexico threatens a household name in America.
One thing our Premier-elect Alison Redford will be hearing about is Calgary's City Hall. It is in need of $100 million worth of major repairs. Here's Sarah Offen with what needs fixing and who will pay for it.
And I've got a bit of a leak here coming off of the roof, and it tends to deteriorate my wall.
Alderman Chabot sees the effects of City Hall's leaky roof growing worse every spring.
It's right in this area in here. But you see it's come down further into the wall now. It's all the way down to here. It's very porous, right? So water does go through it. It does have tile roof, but again, some of those tiles, they don't work well when water backs up from ice.
Over $12 million is needed for restoring Calgary's historic City Hall alone. Besides problems with the roof, the sandstone structure is crumbling away.
The city's budget isn't big enough for the over $100 million City Hall wish list, waiting on federal and provincial funding.
So we've got to fix the leaking roof. We've got to improve some of the safety and security. We should improve the handicapped accessibility in this place. Some of the other stuff are great to haves, but that'll have to wait until funding is available.
Wheelchair accessibility is a key request. The front ramp is too steep.
When they first built it, I was in a manual chair, and it was a little hard to push up the ramp.
Not everyone in council agrees on the priorities.
There have been quite a few renovations going on. I would have thought that would have kept everybody happy, but apparently not.
For critical, infrastructure needs, I think we, as a city, need to invest in those things, because if you let it deteriorate further, then the cost of refurbishment is going to be even more.
Either way, it's an argument Alberta's new government has coming.
We will be pressing very hard with the provincial government to talk about how infrastructure is going to be funded.
Sarah Offen, Global News.
Quick look at the NHL playoffs tonight. The New York Rangers were able to hang on, tying the series up at 3-3. Some drama in the third period, though, with just 38 seconds left. Spezza scoring for the Sens. Lundqvist, though, furious, saying the puck was kicked in. Wouldn't matter, though. Senators could not get the tying goal, and the Rangers win it 3-2. The series goes to Game 7. And the Chicago Blackhawks returning to the Windy City on the brink of elimination as they host the Phoenix Coyotes in Game 6 of their first-round playoff series. Phoenix scoring 3 times in the third period, marking the end of this series. 4-0 the final. The Coyotes will move on. Finally, some new video for you from the Calgary Zoo. It's of those 3 adorable tiger cubs born at the Calgary Zoo on March 30th. The zoo says it's delighted to say everything is going well. The cubs continue to grow and develop as they should be. We're also told Katya's motherly instincts have kicked into high gear.
You think?
And coming up next, Gord, Linda, and Roger Kincaid are back for a final look at this election night.
A few years after we were married, my wife and I came up to the Silver Hills Guest House wanting to find out how we could better serve our community. And while being here, we realized that lifestyle and nutrition are significant to people's happiness. My dad, he would say, Brad, you should make the sprouted bread, the kind that your mom used to make. One of the reasons I go to work every day is because this bread that we make at Silver Hills Bakery not only tastes good, it's good for you. It's sprouted, it's organic, whole grain, and it just makes the bread taste great.
Remember when Anne had cancer? Think about it. Everyone has a connection to cancer, even you. The Canadian Cancer Society's Relay for Life is a chance for us to celebrate cancer survivors, remember those we've lost, and join our communities to fight back so that one day we won't have to think about cancer. We can just think about Anne. Register today